Floods play a large part in Ohio's hazard history. The Ohio River flood on March 6, 1997 was a large, very detrimental natural hazard. The Ohio River has unique geological settings and characteristics that cause the flood to occur and create so many damaging effects on the surrounding area. The effects of the flood were disastrous, leaving thousands of people homeless and unemployed, and left damages that costed at least $500,000. By looking at the Ohio River's history and different setting and features, possible future flooding risks are able to be detected. By using technological and natural resources, the threat of flooding decreases. Recommendations to minimize the damage and danger are put into effect for all the residents and surrounding people to follow. Floods are very hazardous, and it is important to be educated and prepared while in a high-risk flooding region.
Kit, just look around me. This disaster has been a costly one. The flood of 1997 is responsible for 19 deaths in Kentucky and 5 deaths in Ohio. Damage estimates are nearly $500 million. And in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana, 93 counties have been declared disaster areas.
The Ohio River, located on the southern border of Ohio, have flooded many times throughout history. One of the floods that stands out the most took place on March 6, 1997. Downpours caused this massive flood to occur and damage the nearby area. These storms occurred because of moisture brought up from the Gulf of Mexico. Flood walls were built before the flood took place but did little to prevent the damage it caused. Major floods like this can erode and change regions where they happen, but because we now have a better understanding of when a flood will strike, we can take precautions to protect areas.
Preparations are underway for what could turn out to be historic flooding.
Just moments ago, they increased the flood prediction levels. WLWT News 5's Brian Hamrick has the latest on the flooding concerns. Brian?
Yeah, Kyla, well, the rain just started falling here along the Ohio River in Newport within the last hour or so. But take a look. It's up. You can see very muddy, and it's moving pretty fast at this point. Now, just a few minutes ago, you said they updated the flood prediction. Now, we thought it would get to about 55 feet, and now they're saying 56.3. Now, that might not seem like much, but it moves us from minor to moderate flooding. And for those who live close to the river, every point is an exact level. It comes to this stair or gets into that building. Right now, the biggest concern is the high water. That's at least the most immediate concern is the high water on the roadways. Some are closed. Others are expected to close as the water rises. Some of the main roads closed right now are Debolt at Clear Creek, 4 Mile, 8 Mile at Kellogg, and Kellogg east of Sutton. In fact, anywhere along Kellogg is becoming a problem.
Disastrous flooding swamped dozens of river towns and cities, forcing evacuations of thousands of people. Most of the town of Falmouth in Pendleton County, Kentucky, with over 2,400 residents, was evacuated. Flooding also damaged several other towns across the region, including Boston, Kentucky, where the water level reached the rooftops of many homes and smaller businesses. This major flooding impacted a total of 6 states across the region. The most severe flooding occurred in Ohio and Kentucky, with dozens of counties in each state declared natural disaster areas. Close to 14,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. Over 20,000 homes and business owners applied for disaster relief. Damages were totaled up to more than $500 million. A total of 33 people lost their lives due to flooding, including 21 in Kentucky and 5 in Ohio, 4 in Tennessee, and 3 in West Virginia. Hundreds of injuries were also reported. Many of these losses may have been preventable. A dozen deaths were caused by drowning associated with vehicles being swept away by current floods. The increased mitigation and awareness is one example. Obviously, with the amount of destruction caused, no one was prepared for the strength brought on by the tides of the Ohio. In addition to the understanding of potential destruction that could be caused by the river, high-tech additions were also made to the mitigation effort. Flood gauges and a new flood protection system have been installed, so now we can better prepare for and prevent the natural disaster. The Ohio River is a high-risk area for flooding. The famous Ohio River flood on March 6, 1997 was one of the most damaging floods Ohio has ever experienced. The Ohio River has a